Hello once again, this is Ironmonger.
And Skills Man.
Today, we will be covering items for Sun Wukong.
We're using the same flow as last time, right? That means I go first. Quick reminder, this build isn't supposed to be the best. It's only so you can learn how to play Sun Wukong without needing to know any items yet. Oh, and I'm assuming you're using Sun Wukong in the solo lane, by the way. Okay, enough of that. Here's what you should buy with your initial 1500 gold. Start with Bluestone Pendant. After that, buy boots. Boots are basically the same thing as shoes. With the leftover 400 gold, I recommend you buy 2 health pots and an active. I find teleport to be very helpful, but you could buy purification beads or Aegis if you want to. If you really don't want an active, buy 2 wards and more health potions. Let's talk full build. Upgrade boots into warrior tabby. After that, buy the following items in this order. Transcendence, Jotun's Wrath, Hide of the Urchin. This will leave only 2 item slots left. Fill those slots with Shifter Shield and Titan's Bane. Alright, I'm done. Your turn, Iron.
Thank you, Skills. I too would like to give a quick reminder. I will be giving an assortment of core items that I highly recommend you buy. However, unlike Skills, I will never recommend more than 3 core items, leaving at least 3 items up for debate. With that in mind, let's begin. Upon further review, I have decided to only give 2 core items for Sun Wukong. These items are Warrior Tabby and Jotun's Wrath. While the charts show that certain items are consistently popular, Sun Wukong's nature as a warrior lets him choose many paths. For this reason, I could not bring myself to designate a 3rd core item. Let me briefly explain why these 2 items are so important. Boots are the physical equivalent of shoes, which we covered in our last series. Of the 4 options available for upgrades, Warrior's Tabby is the strongest simply because Sun Wukong is not a basic attack warrior by nature. Jotun's Wrath is an item with decent raw power and a little penetration, but the real reason you get it is for the 25% cooldown reduction. As I hope we made clear in the first video, Sun Wukong uses his abilities very frequently. 72 transformations and Somersault Cloud especially should be ready as often as you can afford to make them. Before I continue, I would like to highlight a specific item. I do not consider starter items to be core items. However, Bluestone Pendant is a very important early game item because the passive provides an efficient boost in both wave clear and overall damage. By the time your build is done, Bluestone Pendant will be gone, but it is important to point out its early game significance. With the core items established, let us consider other items to buy for him. Because there are so many, I will try to summarize the items in one short sentence, so please pause if you need to read them. Warriors will typically aim for a balance of power and defense. For this reason, I believe it would be wise to mention a few defense items. For physical defense, Runeforge Hammer is popular when battling other physical gods. Mail of Renewal is popular near the endgame phase because of its passive. Mystical Mail's passive is reliable and works well when the enemy is slowed by Master's Will. If you want magical defense, consider Ansel. When the passive is full, the item gives you a lot of useful stats. Runic Shield may help when fighting a basic attack-focused mage. Stone of Gaia has excellent health regeneration, making it helpful in all circumstances. I mentioned 6 items just now, but that doesn't mean that there aren't more items to consider. I do recommend you look at Hide of the Urchin. It's balanced for both types of protection, making it a good item for players who want one and only one defensive item. Next on the agenda are power items. Heartseeker is a high-risk, high-reward item you might consider in favorable circumstances.
Or if you're feeling lucky. You feeling lucky? Well, do you, punk?
What are you doing?
What? My section was short.
Alright, but please keep it to a minimum. Anyways, Titan's Bane allows you to ignore 1/3 of your enemy's defense. This not only applies to Gold Fury and Fire Giant, but Towers and Phoenixes as well as a Titan.
I wonder if it would work on other Titans.
I sincerely doubt it. Hydra's Lament helps your abilities recharge faster, and the passive goes well alongside Master's Will and 42 transformations.
So, Hercules slew a Hydra with it?
If I recall, Hercules was able to slay the Hydra by choking it.
I bet using a trident called Hydra's Lament would have been much quicker.
Moving on, the Crusher provides flat penetration, which also works on Towers, Phoenixes, and the Titan, and is designed for destroying Towers and Phoenixes.
If only Sun Wukong could transform into a Phoenix. I guess his bird form is good enough.
Brawler's Beatstick has the same stats as the Crusher, but is good when fighting an enemy that can heal.
Kinda makes you wonder what's on that thing.
Transcendence provides the most raw power of any physical item and gives mana so you will rarely run out when you need it most.
Not so tough without your transformations, are ya?
Finally, we have Shifter's Shield. Not only does it provide hefty power, but it switches to a defense item when you are hurt. What, no comment?
What? I couldn't think of something witty.
Before we conclude, let me bestow you some item wisdom I have acquired while playing Sun Wukong. Neither Skillz nor I are particularly amazing with any one god. We tend to hop from god to god, making us jacks of all trades.
But masters in none.
We have both played him in many roles. Even though he is most commonly found in solo lane, he could be a support or a jungler. The reason is because Sun Wukong is very good at adapting to many different builds.
Yeah, I played him with a lot of defense once, and I still got a decent number of kills. He's one of those gods that's best built with his team in mind. If your team needs a power boost, build him with more power. If your team needs someone to protect the more powerful fragile players, build him with more defense.
He is also adept at adjusting to his player. He could just as easily support a basic attack build as he could an ability build. When choosing items, try to ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish, and what method would I like to use? As I mentioned before, items have themes. Decide what you want to accomplish, and then locate items with similar themes. I left out items that provide critical hit chance and lifesteal, but they are valid items if you know how to utilize them.
I'm pretty sure that about wraps it up. Wasn't there something else we needed to cover?
I believe you're thinking about the Conquest match. We agreed to cover that in a video all by itself.
Oh yeah, come back when we have that done. Oh, and Iron and I made a Tumblr blog for fun. There are a lot of things we want to talk about, but there are so many gods to cover that we don't want to stop what we're doing now. Often, the topics we want to cover are short anyways, so we cover them briefly there. Check the comments for the link.
Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.